Well, here we are then. I've got a special guest with me this evening. None other than the co-promoter, I believe. Have I got that right? Co-promoter along with Steve Lawson.
Yeah, promoter.
Workington.
Yeah.
Or we'll just call you promoter.
Yeah.
We'll just call you the promoter. And welcome to the tonight's chat, Andrew. It's great to have you on board. I must ask you, as I ask all of our guests straight away, what on earth possessed you to get involved in the deranged sport of Speedway?
Well, I don't know. I'm starting to think that now, No, motorcycling's always been in my blood, from motocross, Speedway. And I just think it's a great sport, a great viewing sport. It's spectacular. You've got four riders there. And you can throw a blanket off and race, and it's the adrenaline, the rush. It's unbelievable.
When did you first get involved in it, though? What did you go along as a kid?
No, I've done motocross when I was a kid. I had a little go on a speedway bike when I was 18, but I was no good. Then walked away from. I helped them originally build the old North Side before I took it over in 2017.
Right.
So then I've got two of my own boys there done a bit of motocross and changed to Speedway in 2017, and that's where it kindled. Yeah, again.
I've got a photograph that it's one of my all-time favourites is of me and my daughter, youngest daughter, Emily, who's now 29, but when she was, still at primary school, so probably about 7 or 8. And it's of me and her, and we're on the terraces at Derwent Park. The old Workington track, and it was at one of the was it the fours or the pairs that Workington used to host?
The pairs,
the early noughties. Yeah,
it was a pairs.
Yeah. And then we used to regularly go down, because from Galashiels down to Workington, it's a good 2.5 hours or so, But we thoroughly enjoyed it. Going down to the to Derwent Park, and I did actually make it down to your new arena at Northside, and I was taken aback when I first saw it. It's really impressive. In fact, it kind of reminded me of, on the TV I've seen some of the Swedish tracks. It reminded me of some of that, because you've got a little bit of trees in the background covering bits of the stand and everything. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, well, it's at the moment we're still going forward. We're doing more stuff to the arena. Hopefully, people will see this year as they come. There'll be new floodlights, new roofs on the pits, and some new fencing up, and so we keep on progressing.
I must point out that back in those days, the Workington team had Carl Stonehewer, and I'm going to say Simon Stead. And Simon Stead has caused us Bandits fan so much pain over the years, both in Workington colours and Sheffield colours. He's one of those riders that I've always thought he would be perfect around Shielfield. And another one, of course, that you had at Workington, I think 2012, was Peter Kildemand.
Yeah.
Yep. Of course, probably the most famous person to come out of Workington is probably Ben Stokes, isn't it? Because his dad, Jed Stokes, was the coach there at the rugby league team. Anyway, so let's fast forward then to Northside, and how did I believe the track has been there, or the Speedway training track has been there for quite a while. Is that right?
Yeah, the Speedway training track's been there for 21 years. It had been. And I took over the place in 2017 from a Bickley family. And, and it just went from there. Derwent Park, the rest there until 2018. And, it was sad days after that. And, then just after COVID, I thought about building a new track and that's where it started.
Right. Okay. So is building something that you do?
No, Yeah, that's it. It's no, it's it was. My ambition was to build a race track. When Denwood Park shut down and that, and just keep going forward and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I've always compared the history of Workington going to Northside with Berwick back in 1980 when they got evicted from Sheffield Park, and then they went and built a track, outside of Berwick, 7 miles outside of Berwick. And you're far too young to ever remember going to the old Berrington Loft track.
Yeah, I'm a bit too young. I've seen pictures of it and that, and it looked a cool place. It did.
It was. Did you know it was a place that intimidated a lot of riders for the fact that it was in the middle of nowhere. It was bizarre. I mean, it was little country lanes you had to go down with like passing places. If you met a car coming the other way, it was really bizarre to have this speedway track in the middle of, literally a field. But it worked really well. Anyway, so you were saying that you sort of took over the Speedway 2017.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I took over the Speedway and started hosting, having training days and everything. Then when COVID came, we shut down for a while. Then my decision was to make a bigger track, bring Speedway back to Workington.
Well, it's been it's been some success stories so far, hasn't it? I mean, tell us a little bit about. I must, before we go any further, it wasn't last year, was it? It was the year before. You made one of the most sensational signings I think Speedway ever seen with Celine Lehman.
Yeah, we certainly did. No, see, it was a sensational signing and that, and just it just didn't work out in the end. Which was a shame.
I mean, obviously she's a capable rider because of the fact that she'd beaten lots of other riders. She wasn't just there to make up the numbers. She took it seriously. But eventually she kind of dropped out. What without giving away too many secrets, what was the kind of issues there? Was it the traveling, being away from home? I mean, I'd imagine that would have been hard on her.
Yeah, I think it was, the travelling, and she was away from home quite a lot and that, and it was quite hard for her and that, and I thought it was just best to happen what did happen, to be honest.
But she had she certainly I don't know, did she come in on something like a 4-point average and she got close to that?
Yeah, she came in on a 4-point average and she ended up on a 2.9 average.
Right. Yep.
So she could hold her own, she could, but like I say, it was just a travelling and it was quite hard. She had to fly in, do her bikes and that, and it was quite testing for her.
Yeah, I don't think people quite realise the work involved in being a speedway rider. I had the benefit of following the Bandits for a full year, just about every home and away meeting, and seeing the amount of work that goes in was amazing, But anyway, moving forward then. So last year, let's just go through last year's team. You had Troy Batchelor.
Yep.
Antti Vulis.
Yep.
Tate. Is it
Ziski? Yep.
Tate. Do you know what? This is going to be so awkward. I am always going to say Shane Bowes, because I remember the Glasgow. It's not. It's Fraser. Bowes,
yeah.
Isn't it?
That's it.
Bowes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was. Did you have Paul Stark as well?
No, Paul Stark was 24. Paul Stark took over from Selena. He did.
Yeah. So Fraser Bowes. Obviously Vinnie Ford.
Yeah. Jay Etheridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jay.
Yeah, Jay.
We're missing one, but it'll come to us. It'll come to us.
Yeah, it's okay. It is.
Sorry?
It's Hooky. That's who it is.
Who is it? Sorry.
It was Hooky.
Yeah, Jacob Hook.
Yeah.
Hook. Yeah. And Troy Batchelor. Wow. He was a member of the Swindon Robins team back in 2012 that won the title for Swindon. As you can tell by my accent, I'm not originally from Galashiels or anywhere near Berwick. I'm originally from Cheltenham, and obviously that particular team of 2012 that had in it had Nick Morris, the aforementioned Simon Stead, who, as I say, never got to ride at Berwick, for Berwick, shall we say, Seb Alden, I think it was Victor Lampard, but then you also had Hans Anderson, Troy Batchelor. I thought Troy Batchelor was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, okay, he's matured a bit, and I think he's made one or two comments about the Berwick track that, you know, look, give the guy a bit of slack. You know, he's been there, done it. But did he not once in a Grand Prix? Did he not score an 18-point maximum?
He did, yeah. I think he did,
Denmark?
Denmark.
Yeah. I'm sure it was, yeah. Just a fantastic rider. Antti Vulis, I'm sure that he was on the radar of a few riders, of a few promoters, was he not?
Yeah, there was quite a few promoters spoke to him this year.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Because did he not do well in Manchester one year at the Speedway Nations?
Yeah, he done well there, and he's quite good round big tracks. He is.
Yeah. Tate Zitsky is doing rather well in the in Australia back home, but he was making great improvements until that he had that horrific crash, didn't he, at Bellevue?
Yeah,
he was absolutely flying. Do you know what it reminded me of? And this is really bizarre. The Berwick fans will remember this. Michael Blixt.
Right.
He only had 2 meetings for Berwick. He was absolutely sensational, world finalist, and then all of a sudden, career ended. And you sometimes worry about these guys. For goodness sake, you know, it's not. You know, you don't want to be hitting fences at high speed. Anyway, thankfully, he's back. But I don't think Fraser Bowes is back, is he? He's
Fraser's gone to pool. So yeah.
Tell us a little bit about my mate David Norris. Keeps ranting and raving about this Vinnie Ford.
Yeah, he's often on, you know, messaging us and that, and asking how he's coming on, and yeah, he's 110% behind Vinny. He's got a lot of time for Vinny. He has.
Yeah. Well, listen, if Vinny Vinny ends up being half as good as Floppy, then he's going to be some rider, isn't he? You know.
Yeah, I think this year, you know, I think Vinny will kick on a little bit this year. He'll have a full season that team, and yeah, he'll do quite well.
And obviously, you ended up with Jai Etheridge going to the opposite side of the country from Berwick to Workington. How did that come about? Was it giving away too many secrets?
No, I seen Jai last season when our last meeting and there, and I asked him if he wanted to change a scenery, and he said he would have a think about it. And it was and we had a talk and that, and we got a deal together, and that's how it came away.
So again, and then obviously Jacob Hook, who had also had a wee period at Bandits, but he'd also been down at Plymouth. He likes to get around the country, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's been Edinburgh and Berwick and Plymouth. He certainly has. And Workington. And, yeah.
And again, I suppose I've got a promoter on, so I must ask this question of you. Oh, okay, you're not the team manager, but the side that you put together, was that the side that you sort of in your mind started out with, or did it have to necessarily, vary as as riders said, yes, they were or weren't available? I mean, how does it all work? How do you put together a team?
Well, you just go off. It's all a numbers game at the end of the day, and for 2025, the team we built, that's what we wanted. Wanted strength right through, and we got the riders that we did want. Yeah, we had some really good matches at home, and we were strong at home, and we were just unlucky at a couple of away meetings. But on all, we had a good team.
Well, I always hark back about this one. Did you again? You're far too young. You would have never have seen the Hackney Kestrels team of 1988.
No, I've never seen them.
No. I'll give you some of the names: Chris Louis, Alan Mogridge, Mark Laram, Andy Galvin. There was Paul Whitaker, Gary Rolls, Barry Thomas, and Sean Venables. And they absolutely pulverized everybody else that year in 1988, as you're bound to when you've got Mark Laram in your team. And do you know at the start of the season, they as an average, they were the lowest points of any team in the league that year. Is it a case of when you're looking at your riders, you're trying to use up all of the points available?
Yeah, you're trying to get, like this year, it's 40-point average again, and you try to make use of all them points as much as you can, get close to 40.
Right. I'm going to say there's no need to. Hackney did it with, I think they had to get special dispensation to go with that team because it was so low. Is there still a minimum?
No, I don't think there is a minimum, but like I say, you just try to get to 40. So on the season, you hope that your average goes up, all the riders' averages go up, and the team's winning.
That's right. And again, I must ask you before we move on to the Workington Comets of 2026. You've recently had the AGM. Did you manage to get down to that?
Yeah, I got down to it. Certainly did.
And I'm trying to get my head around the fact that you've got the British Speedway Promoters Association and the Speedway Control Board. How closely do they sort of work together?
Well, they work quite closely together, they do. They were there at the AGM and everything, and all the rules and everything, and it is quite close knit.
Okay. So it was a good meeting, but maybe it would be nicer if you, like in the past, they used to go to Tenerife, didn't they?
Yeah, I know it's always nice to get away, but it's nice. It's nice to be on in this country to do it. It is.
I suppose it's much handier.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's quickly move on then. So you're in the process of building your team for 2026, and looking at that list, I see that Troy Batchelor is back. Yeah,
Troy's back. He is. Yeah.
How? I mean, is he the sort of rider that you would have as the captain of the team?
Yeah, he's good with other riders. He is. He was captain in 25, and he took a few young ones under his wings and that, and he's good around all his teammates.
Excellent. So you've got Troy Batchelor coming back, but he wasn't the first rider that you announced, was it? You had a you had a number one that you've nicked from some other promotion. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we've got Jonas. Very talented he is. I've been watching him for a bit, and brilliant racer he is.
I must confess that as a Berwick fan, you know when you get given a whole load of presents at Christmas, and then your mum and dad says, "Oh, by the way, I'm really sorry, but you see those two toys that you really liked, they're not for you, they're for somebody else," and you get taken off you, and that's how it felt. Because by the end of the season, of course, you know, that top four that Berwick had was absolutely sensational. I have no idea what if we're going to see Drew Kemp in the championship, but he was really good. But yes, Jonas really turned our season around, and I kind of wasn't surprised when he turned up as your number one. Was Vinnie Ford not your second signing?
Yeah, that's correct. Vinnie was, yeah.
Yeah. Jonas, Vinnie. Tate
was the third signing, yeah.
Yep. And what's he like? I believe he's supposed to be a real live wire.
Yeah, he is a live wire. He is. He's never still. He isn't. You know.
He's a bit of a character.
Oh, he's a bit of a character.
So possibly, you know, an enthusiastic person like that could often make a good captain, couldn't it? You know, because
definitely.
Like, you know, his enthusiasm would rub off on others. But yeah, okay then. So we've got Jonas, Vinnie, we've got Tate Sitsky, and then it was Troy Batchelor, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, Troy. Do we know who your fifth rider is yet?
Yeah, we announced yesterday, Craig Cook. So Craig's coming out of retirement, and yeah.
Well, I saw footage of him on a motocross bike. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, couple of guys from the club went down and done videos and interviews with him yesterday, and yeah. So no.
I mean, he's such an interesting character, isn't it? I mean, the whole history of Craig Cook. I remember many years ago when he signed for Edinburgh, because of course he's an absolute legend over there at Armadale, isn't he? You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he's ridden for just about all of the northern teams now, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Glasgow, Edinburgh. Yeah, Berwick, us. Yeah.
And so, Craig, would you like to divulge who might be numbers 6 and 7, or are you still working?
Well, we're still working on it. We are.
And there's we heard, thanks to you know, the Berwick Total Access, that you know they you know, for the final team to, you know, place, there's quite a few sort of you know, names out there that are potential. Have you got quite a few to choose from now? Are you
Yeah, there's quite a few to choose from. There's plenty of riders about, and yeah, we're just fitting the final pieces of a jigsaw, you know, to make our team really strong.
Yeah. Yep. I'd like to ask you a little bit more about the, you know, so this will be coming up. This will be the third season at Northside. In
Fourth
the
season, yeah, third season in the championship, yeah.
Yep. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what was so far has been the best race you've ever seen there?
The best race?
Or if you want to go with the best meeting, you know?
Well, we had a real good meeting this last season. We had the under-19s final. It was superb, you know. Most races you could throw a blanket over 4 riders, and they were fighting hammer and tongue each race. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yep. And a particular race from you know, from any of the previous races that you've.
Yeah, Tate was good in a couple of 8-8s. There's a few videos where he came from the back and he came through the field, and yeah, it was awesome.
And what was this story about Vinny missing the start of a race because he nipped to the loo and couldn't get out of the loo?
Yeah, that's right. A couple of locks had jammed on the toilet to drop down, and it was a mad rush it was to get it open. But we eventually got it open in the end.
But he missed the 2 minutes, is that right?
Yeah, he missed the 2 minutes. About 5 minutes it was.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. So it won't happen again. We've cut the locks out the back of the door.
I'm going to say you couldn't make this stuff up, could you? You know, you couldn't script it. You know.
I think the ref got a shock when we told him he couldn't get out of the toilet. You know.
Did he not say, "Oh, come on, pull the other one"? I've heard that one many times before.
Trying to pull a fast one, you know.
And I know it's a short time, you know, that you know, only the 3 years. Who would you say have been the best visiting riders that you've seen?
Pico was good.
Yes.
Yeah. Kildemany was good at the end of last year. Charles Wright, he was good around Workington last couple of seasons. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, you ain't getting Peter as well as Jonas, okay? he's at Berwick. So, usual question: if it's going to be Berwick and Workington 1 and 2 in the league, who do you see as the main rivals to us for the playoff places? Who have you looked at of the opposition and thought they look quite strong?
It could be. You just never know. Plymouth, Plymouth could be thereabouts. Glasgow got a really strong team. They have.
Yeah, I always look at Redcar and think, yeah, they always have a strong team. You know, I mean, for Berwick, I think the fact that we've got Jai coming back when he's ridden so often at Berwick, you know, he could be a trump card. I think possibly Chris Morris, he's the cricketer. Nick Morris is going to be the trump card for Berwick because he's going to go in at number 5. I thought. Yep. You know, and then you've got Palavara as in effect as a third heat leader, and you know, but it's going to be interesting. What did you think of this? Because I'd never heard of this idea before that there should be only one rider above 8 points in the team. What did you make of that? I mean, well, first of all, how on earth did you hear about it? I'll tell you how I heard about it. It was when somebody announced that Danny King was going to Plymouth because of this rule that you can only have one 8-point rider, and I'm thinking, a rule? You know, have I missed something? Have I been to Mars and back and missed something? To me, it seemed a bit bizarre. Is it something that the promoters had sort of been working on for a while?
Well, no, not really. Well, no, not really. It came about just to level the league, level the teams up in the league and that, and give every team a fairer option, you know.
Right. Okay.
So I'll try and get them all on the similar.
Yeah. In all the years I've been following Berwick, I can't remember anybody taking pity on us never being able to get an 8-point rider. And as soon as we've got 3 of them,
take some away from you.
Exactly. You see what I mean about you know, I've got all these nice Christmas presents. Oh, I'm sorry, that one's not yours. Nor that one.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it levels it up a bit. It does.
Well, I think I did the maths earlier, and I think with your current team, you're up to about 32.5 points. So
yeah,
we've got about 7.5 to play with.
Yeah, we've got 727 to play with.
Right.
Yeah.
I never know what figures to go with, so it's always an approximation. And am I right in thinking that Craig Cook comes in just below that 8 point?
Yeah, that's right. He comes in on a 799. So
Yep. Because of the reduction for the
reduction. Yeah.
riders. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot there, but I got the sense that last year he came to Berwick and it was almost as if he was maybe a bit sort of, they don't want me. They don't want me. So I've decided to come to Berwick. But I can't imagine that being the case. As you said, you just wanted to go with a solid team.
Yeah, I just wanted to go with 2024. We had a week of reserves on what we did this year, so we just wanted to build a stronger team right through.
Mm-hmm.
Tried a different way.
And was it, again, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, how was it with dealing with Craig to get him to come back, or did he come to you, or how did that come about?
No, well, I had a phone call to Craig about one of his friends who died and that, and I asked him after talking about his friend, and I asked him what he was doing this year, and he said he was more or less finished, retired, and that. And I said, "Do you not fancy another season or two?"
Mm-hmm.
And we had a good talk, and worked things out, and that's how it came about.
Well, absolutely brilliant for doing that. As I say, I really struggle to understand why people would be critical of a rider that, let's face it, was a Grand Prix rider. He's still the fastest, unofficially or officially round Berwick, and probably a few other places besides. And there's nothing better than seeing Craig Cook blasting round tracks. But hey, it is what it is. For some reason, he seems to get a lot of people criticizing for various reasons. So yeah, just to sort of finish off with then. So you've got 7.5 points to play with. Are there any plans on, looking further afield than the UK, or is it going to be mainly UK riders that you're looking at?
We might be looking outside the UK for one more.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
And is it a case of as a promoter you realise that there's maybe other people also looking at the the rider that you might have an eye on?
Yeah, well, most teams are nearly full now, so there's only a couple of teams left that need riders. So So yeah.
Yep. Now, you mentioned about, sorry, just before I let you go, a rider that I would have loved to have seen. I was really disappointed when I heard that Kyle Bickley had decided to pack in. I thought he was absolutely. We watched on the Bandits TV. Not this Sunday, the Sunday before, we watched it was a National Development League racing where Kyle Bickley is head and shoulders above anybody else. He's used to for Berwick. I've heard it mentioned that he would go out and win the reserves race, but then not a lot after that. But he was definitely. I'm pretty sure he was a victim of the numbers games. Is there any chance of Kyle Bickley getting back on a bike? I
don't know. He still comes down and has a practice every now and then.
Yeah.
So he's still keen enough. I think it's just I don't know when the time's right again. Probably.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think of this. What was interesting from the promoters meeting was this reduction of 8% per year. Is that somebody is away from Speedway? Yeah,
8% for a year. That's away from Speedway. Yeah.
So I'm trying to rack my brains as to what sort of riders are we talking about. I'm trying to think of riders that have retired recently. Two that spring to mind would be Ashton Bowden and Kyle Bickley. Yeah. But there might be a whole lot more. Are there any more that you can think of?
There's James Wright.
Oh yes,
that's one of them. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's I have got a list. So, and there's a few riders. Yeah, that comes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And forgive my ignorance. James and Charles Wright. Who's the older?
James.
James.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm one of the best 16-year-olds I've ever seen at Berwick. Well, yeah, because he was only 16. Was Charles Wright? I have seen James Wright at Shielfield in the past for both Scunthorpe and Newcastle. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. I can see how James Wright would be and what about Ashton Bowden? You must, as a Speedway fan, the fact that he's just walked away from it must be disappointing, mustn't it?
Yeah, it must be. There's talks of him making a return. He's wanting to make a return. So, yeah, just see what happens.
Yep. Now, one of our great Bandit fans, Norman Cook, he commented on the fact that that they have to have an AGM, even though most of the stuff was already out there, particularly regards the 8-point rider. I question, why do they need an AGM if they've already decided what's going to happen? And he said, yeah, but it's all to do with the fact that we have to have witnesses that Berwick did actually get red car in the first round of the Knockout Cup. And any news on when the Knockout Cup fixtures were they discussed at all in the? Oh,
they weren't discussed. They'll be coming out very soon, I imagine.
Right.
Right. All the fixtures probably will be.
But sorry, have they been drawn yet, or did you not?
Not to my knowledge, no. They haven't been drawn yet. No.
So we've not been drawn against you this year for a change.
No.
Now, the championship has got the 9 teams, and obviously the Premiership 5 teams. And I think, again, if my maths are correct, it means that the championship teams will have 8 home meetings, 8 away, which is 16. Yep. The Premiership will have 4 away, 4 at home, but double that. So they're also going to have 16. Is that right?
No, they're going to have 3 home, 3 away.
3 home and 3 away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they're going to have a couple of cup meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I've always thought would be good would be to sort of regionalize slightly the and have, because I don't know if this is the case you found that at Workington, but when you've got the local teams coming to Workington, you get a better crowd because you've got the away fans.
Yeah, that's right. It's like Berwick, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Redcar. Yeah, our gates are a lot better. Yeah.
And who are yours? Who would you regard as they are that is the local derby? That is the one that because obviously for Berwick it used to be Newcastle.
Yeah.
But now it's I suppose yeah.
It's 5 and 2 for Israel. It's like Redcar.
Yeah.
Edinburgh, Glasgow. Really, all nearly in the 100-mile radius.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And of all the away tracks that you've been to, which do you enjoy watching Speedway at the best?
Well, there's a lot of it. There's the championship. We've got a lot of good race tracks. We have. You've got your Redcar, you've got Glasgow. There's lots of different variations, and some good race tracks.
Yeah, you'd be too young to remember the county ground at Exeter.
Yeah, I never got there.
Well, for me, there were 3 tracks that were very, very similar, or are very similar, because Shielfield is still there, but County Ground, Exeter, and obviously Derwent at Workington. Now, do the rugby league still play at Derwent Park?
Yeah, they still play there. They've had a local derby today against Whitehaven. They have. Yeah, they still play there. Yeah.
And is the track still there, or have they covered that up now?
No, the track isn't there. I dug the track out. I took all the shell to north side.
Mm-hmm.
It was just going to get dug out and took to a local tip. So I took a couple of machines in and road planed it out. So yeah. So saved us a fortune. It did.
You haven't got footage of that, have you?
I have got some footage of it. Yeah, I have.
Have you? Oh, you have to send it over. That would be absolutely brilliant. I love that. I just that whole idea of if you don't want us there, we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah,
kind of. Well, we're after 9 o'clock. Bugger you, we're carrying on. we're not just going to let you dictate. Andrew, many thanks for joining us, and I wish you all the best in 2026. I hope that, as I say, it's the Bandits and Workington top of the league and fighting it out in the playoffs and stuff. But as you say, there's a few other teams that will, no doubt have a say about that. It'll be interesting to see the final makeup of both the Bandits and the Comets. And as I say, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out and joining me.
Thanks very much, Paul.
This evening. I'm just going to. We've got a message from. I think I can show this on the from Jimmy Cuthbert.
Oh yeah, Jimmy. Yeah.
Somebody you know?
Yeah, Jimmy used to do a little bit of riding. He used to do second halves and that. Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy, for getting in touch. And listen, kept it nice and short, which is great because we'll hopefully get you back on again sometime during the season to see how things are developing.
Yeah, no problem at all, Paul.
If you'd be up to that, then we'll get you back on. That would be great to hear from you. Thanks once again, and I'm going to say cheerio. So it's good night from him, and it's good night from me. And
good night.
Cheers.
Cheers.